Now at 10, local kids get creative while cuddling up to kittens looking for new homes. Plus, how Missouri farmers are trying to help support Oklahoma and Texas residents following recent wildfires. And St. Patrick's Day is being celebrated around the 4 states. We'll take you to a Luck of the Irish Gnome workshop.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Carl Junction Fire Department put out a house fire early this morning in the Briarbrook neighborhood. This is KWAM News at 10. I'm Anthony Saviello. It happened before the time change around 1:20 a.m. in the 700 block of Spring Hill Drive. Flames and smoke were visible in the attic area of the house. Everyone got out safely. The Red Cross was contacted to help the displaced residents. Fire crews in Webb City respond to a morning house fire. It happened around 7:45 this morning at 1216 West Austin. When crews arrived, most of the fire had gone out, but they helped out with remaining hot spots. The east side of the home was damaged from the fire and smoke. No one was injured in the fire. Farmers across the Ozarks are stepping up to help people who have nothing left. These wildfires have destroyed more than 1.3 million acres across Texas and Oklahoma. Farmers there have lost land, houses, and livestock. Now farmers are finding what they can to give others. Marina Silva has that story.
And we're here to take care of those that are in need.
Joshua Spear is just one of the local farmers in the Ozarks trying to help.
Have been either injured or their food supplies have either been exhausted or burnt up in the wildfires. So
Spear and others have been asking for donations.
We're needing all stock feed, empty water tote, either like empty water totes or water containers, mineral pails that are empty, mineral pails that have mineral in it, fencing supplies, so the your little clips to hold the barbed wire onto the fence, T-posts, any kind of barbed wire, and then the fencing tools and leather gloves.
Now, this feed plus this feed is just some of what's already being collected, and later today and in the coming days, they're planning to bring a lot more. Spear says it doesn't matter if it's another state. It's farmers helping farmers.
At the end of the day, we're one country under God. And we're here to take care of those that are in need.
Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with a first look at our weather.
We had a pretty nice weekend yesterday and today. Temperatures did start to warm up today into the lower 60s. Right now out in Joplin, it's 50 degrees, pretty light southerly breeze, good visibility, but low humidity. Across the region, temperatures are dipping down to the 40s now. And like I said, pretty low humidity, getting down to around 30% to 40% across the region. Some areas still in 60%. 65% humidity in Pittsburgh, so that's good. But some of these lower level humidity rates could cause some issues tomorrow with temperatures warming up. If it's still going to be dry, could see some fire issues. You might want to watch out for that. With our next rain system not coming in until Tuesday evening. It's still on the west coast, but making its way into our area on Tuesday, and I'll have more details for you up next.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Several top Oklahoma officials, including the governor, are suing the state's attorney general. It stems from a recent opinion marked by Attorney General Ginter Drummond that Tim Gatz was unconstitutionally holding multiple offices. Gatz had been the Secretary of Transportation, Executive Director for the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, all at the same time. He resigned over the AG's opinion. Now the governor and several cabinet members are suing the AG, saying he misplaced the state's dual office laws. Voters in Berry and Lawrence counties will soon head to the polls. They'll vote on an increase on property taxes. If it passes in April, they would go to the Aurora Rural Fire Protection District. Charmel Odell has details on where the money goes and how much it'll be.
The longer you have equipment, the more failure rate there is with that equipment, because those apparatuses, SCBAs, equipment like that, they tend to degrade or deteriorate over time. So they need to have that equipment updated periodically.
The chief at the nearby Aurora City Fire Department has watched as the rural fire department has to add to more with less.
They've been operating at a low budget for many years.
The rural fire district is a volunteer-only department, and the chief says the extra money would help find more.
By having the extra funding, they will be able to pay a stipend to their volunteers. And a stipend helps the volunteers, it pays for gas and clothing and so forth. And the little bit of pay that they would get is an incentive for them to get more people.
Chief Hurd is hoping the money will help not just rural fire, but his department as well.
Over the past several years, especially with COVID, trying to get volunteers on the fire department has been a hard task to do. For your average house fire that we see, we need about 12 to 15 members to combat that fire. And we don't get that.
The Cornell Arts and Entertainment Center in Joplin today hosted a second Sunday cinema event. The purpose of the event was to recognize the work of local and regional filmmakers. Last week, KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with the filmmaker of In the Morning, a documentary about former Joplin police officer Jake Reed. Today, we spoke to an organizer about the other films that were showcased.
For Second Sunday Cinema, we're trying to show one feature film, so it's going to be over 40 minutes long, one feature film, and at least a couple of shorts as well each month. And so 3 films today, but most of these are winners or were just really favorites from our Uplift Film Festival.
Films shown today include The Center, Where the River Divides, and In the Morning. Coming up, we take a look at a new way parents can help protect their children on social media. Plus, an Ozark school district bans the use of cell phones. We'll have reaction from some of the students. Watching over kids' online activity can be difficult, especially with so many devices. But more parents are turning to so-called smart firewalls to protect themselves and their kids. The technology Firewalla bills itself as a smart firewall, sitting between your internet provider and your devices, not only protecting you from hackers, but allowing you to control your kids' internet access no matter which device they use in your home network. Keeping phones from disrupting classroom learning. A new policy in the Willow Springs district requires high school students to leave their cell phones at home in the car or store them in a pouch. Michael Hoffman with more about the push behind the policy and the way students are taking the news.
We don't know what to expect. It's a huge change. We're obviously not fans of it.
Colton Stolba is a student here at Willow Springs High. He says he and his classmates aren't too happy with the district's new plan to limit phone use, but Principal Nick Schmidt says there's a good reason for the rule.
The motivation is we want students engaged in class. Those things are a disruption to the learning environment, and so we want to take that away so students can be more engaged and more out of their school day.
But Colton says with the state of technology, it's only a benefit to have access to their phones.
Going back to the other ages, a lot of people and adults had things that we didn't have, and we see it as a revolution. We see that phones are becoming a new age of things and are the next step in the future, but it feels like we're taking a step down almost, but we want to move into the future.
The students will still have their phones close, but they must buy Velcro pouches to store them in until the day ends. And aside from special circumstances, they'll need permission to use them.
If they needed to, get a hold of a parent for some reason or something, they can come to one of the offices and get permission to do that. Or we also have, phones, regular landline phones that could be used.
The school has reassured us there are cell phones in every classroom. We can talk to our parents if we want to. But still, just this connection to this cell phone, it's something that really worries us.
The principal says if students need their phones for medical reasons like tracking blood sugar, they will make exceptions on a case-by-case basis. Good news for student loan borrowers on income-driven repayment plans. The Department of Education has extended the deadline for income recertification. Previously set for March 1st, the new deadline is now pushed till late September 2024 at the earliest. This delay means borrowers can expect to continue with relatively low monthly payments with recertification linked to annual income. Many are still operating based on 2019 pre-pandemic figures. A little later, Pitt State women look to become MIAA champs. We'll have the highlights in sports.
We've also got quite a bit of rain chances in the forecast. I'll have more details after the break. I hope everyone is enjoying this nice Sunday evening. Temperatures are dropping down to the 40s tonight, but it was better than what we saw last night. Taking a look at our Indigo Sky Casino Resort camera, it is a gorgeous night. Clear skies, you can see some stars out there, and temperatures today were pretty good. The low was a little bit colder than what I would like to see. 28 at about 5 a.m., but our high was in the lower 60s. So we did see about a 10-degree jump from what our high was on Saturday. We had a ridge forming over our area this weekend, today and tomorrow, but with our next rain system starting to make its way in, it's still off on the west coast. It'll make its way into our area Tuesday evening. Now we are going into a warming trend this week. As you can see, starting off about 5 p.m., 51 degrees yesterday, but today getting up to 62, and that's going to keep getting warmer. Tomorrow by noon, we're going to be just shy of 60 degrees with our high being 68, possibly 69 tomorrow, and it's going to be really warm and sunny, so it's going to be a really nice Monday for everybody with this ridge still over our area. However, we do see a trough forming, and that trough brings instability to the atmosphere and rising air, which causes those thunderstorms. So clouds roll in Tuesday morning, and then the thunderstorm chances start to pop up a little bit later Tuesday evening. Rain coming around 8 p.m., but the heavier rain and thunderstorm chances coming after 9, possibly after midnight. There is a low risk for isolated thunderstorms on Tuesday across the entire area, so we all have this chance, and could narrow down as we get a little bit closer to the event, but as of right now, rain is starting to make its way in Nevada around 8 p.m. Then it starts to shift across the region. This is where we could see those isolated thunderstorms shifting downwards. Then it'll clear for Wednesday with some more rain chances coming in a little bit later Wednesday evening. Now I do still have a thunderstorm chance on Wednesday just because of the system just north of us in Kansas City. It could shift to hit some of our northern counties, so you may still want to watch out for that and plan for it. With our next chance of thunderstorms coming in on Thursday, Nevada, Parsons getting some heavy rain 7 a.m. when you're starting your day. Then it comes to a widespread shower across the region. Still on Thursday, some isolated thunderstorm chances, and this pushes all the way through Friday, and then it'll be clearing for Saturday. Temperatures cooling off just a bit as we move into next weekend after this system passes. But like I said, this warming trend warms us up all the way to 70s, mid-70s, 76 on Wednesday, 75 on Thursday. Cooling off by next weekend, we'll see temperatures back in the 50s, but sunny skies, so it won't be too chilly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect weather.
I like 60s and sunny.
Yeah.
And thunderstorms.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thanks. Kids in Joplin were encouraged to get creative with some furry friends today. KOAM's Samantha Walker attended the Paws for Love event at 9 Lives Cat Rescue.
I love cats. I'm an animal person.
Well, what we're doing here is the Paws for Love event. We'd like to start these on a monthly basis as to where we come in and we have crafts for both adults and children to come in and do and learn a little bit about the cats, spend some time with the cats that are adoptable in the shelter area, in the lounge, and just generally have a good time and play some games and get to know cats.
We could paint, we could do tattoos, or, we could play with the cats, all that stuff.
Kids are our future, and they're the ones that can do the outreach with the animals. They do so much, the reading with the animals and spending time with them. I think that is necessary.
I like cats because they're cute, they purr a lot when they're happy, they wag their tail when they want to play sometimes.
It's fun because usually kids these days play on electronics a lot, you could get out of the house and like go somewhere with your parents and like hang out with animals or something.
If the cats don't get a home, then, well, they're just going to stay here for, you know, ever. And we don't want that to happen, so we just want people to adopt them.
They have like souls like me and you.
Organizers say 9 Lives Rescue and Adoption Center plans to host more events like today's Pause for Love. They even say they'll be hoping for more events related to adults. Still ahead, Pittsburgh State men's and women's basketball both play for an MIAA tournament championship. John Dales has highlights and post-game reactions from both games up next in sports.
Pittsburgh State women's basketball has the opportunity this afternoon to do something never before done in Gorilla program history. That being win an MIAA tournament championship. After victories on Friday and Saturday, Pitt State plays in the conference title game. It's Championship Saturday in KC. Pitt State looks to make history. The Gorillas face the number 3 seed Fort Hays State. Opening period, Harper Schreiner buries a 3-point shot in the corner. Next possession, Schreiner again. This time she gets the bucket plus the foul. Pitt State leads by 5 points at halftime. Into the second half, Corinna Gerber takes this herself, knocks down the layup. Later in the half, Gerber again, but this time you can count the basket plus the foul. We head to the closing period. Pitt State still holding a lead, and Jenna Shipley with a clutch 3-pointer here. She drains it. Then with under a minute left, Pitt State leads by 4. Grace Pyle puts the game to bed with the biggest shot of the afternoon. Pittsburgh State women's basketball is crowned MIAA tournament champ for the first time in program history. The Gorillas defeat Fort Hays State 63-53.
Well, happy Championship Sunday from the MIAA tournament here in Kansas City. The Pittsburgh State women's basketball team is making their 3rd appearance in the MIAA title game, and this team has a chance to do something that they've never done before in program history.
In all seriousness, uncharted territory for us as a program, and so I'm just extremely proud of the mindset and the effort that it takes to get here, because it's very hard. And the MIAA is it's a grind all year long with very, very, very good teams.
I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, like especially Grace. I've been playing with her for a long time, probably like 6th grade, and so it was just something we've always talked about. We've always had this competitive nature, and it was something that we knew we were capable of at Pitt State with Coach David, and so I just love this team, and I love being a Gorilla. It's amazing.
Well, earlier this week, I asked Coach David if her team is worthy enough for an NCAA tournament bid, and she said no, not even close. Well, now we know that the answer is undoubtedly yes. In Kansas City, Brock Baldridge, KOAM Sports.
Thanks, Brock. Now, after they clear off the court, put the nets back on the rims, and the championship celebrations end from the women's game, Pitt State men's basketball tries to make it a 2-for-2 Gorilla sweep as they take on Northwest Missouri in the MIAA Tournament Championship. Now to the men's conference championship game. Pittsburgh State trying to upset the number 1 seed, Northwest Missouri. First points of the game belong to Bennett Sturts, who hits a 3 from the top of the key. Next Bearcat possession, Daniel Abreu. This time he knocks down a 3-pointer. Northwest opens up an 8-point lead. Pitt State trying to claw its way back into it. This will help. Jordan Freisen gets the turnaround jumper to fall. Then Freisen this time shoots from downtown, and he connects. The MIAA Freshman of the Year, bringing his team back into it. Later in the first, Jeremy Shaw trying to stay hot. He drains the 3, but Pitt State just outmatched in this one. Byron Alexander makes the tough bucket here for Northwest, and the Bearcats go on to handle the Gorillas the rest of the way. Pitt State falls 78-65. Now over to the NFL. Last summer, it was a storyline that lasted into the regular season. When will the Chiefs and Chris Jones come to a contract agreement? Well, that problem gets solved much quicker this time around. According to Adam Schefter from ESPN, the 5-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle agrees to a 5-year contract with the Chiefs, which includes $95 million of guaranteed money. The deal is expected to be the highest ever average annual salary for an NFL defensive tackle. and the Chiefs retain their best defender before free agency even begins. That's a look at sports. We'll be back after this.
St. Patrick's Day celebrations are underway. Art Central in Carthage today kicked off the holiday by creating St. Patrick's Day gnomes. Attendees were provided supplies for their creation, including yarn for hair, hats, and pins.
Gnomes are so much fun, and to me with a gnome it's like less detail as far as, if you try to create other things, you're dealing with the eyes, the mouths and stuff. With the gnomes, you just got this little pug nose and no eyes to deal with, but it leaves a little bit for your imagination to roll.
Today's workshop began at 2 this afternoon and wrapped up at around 5. Well, it's been really nice this weekend. What are you looking forward to the rest of the week?
Well, starting off on Monday will be pretty good. Temperatures in the upper 60s, but we do have thunderstorm chances Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, and then most of the day on Thursday leading into Friday.
Right on. Nice temperatures and outstanding women's basketball.
Yeah, and tonight was the selection show for the NCAA tournament for both the men and the women. So Pitt State women already knew they would be in because they won the conference tournament. They're the 4th seed. They're going to start their tournament in Oklahoma City. The Pitt State men receive an at-large bid, but the Missouri Southern women get left out of the tournament.
Go Rillas. Yep. Go Rillas. Great job. All right, that's our time for tonight. From all of us here at KOAM News, have a great night.